Hey, what's going on, FFBE Global Facebook group? I'm here speaking to you through the power of time travel because I'm recording this video a week in advance. How does that even happen? I don't even know, but I'm doing it. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about a topic that was brought to my attention by Flip Method, who thought that it would be useful for us to talk about this. And if you've never really thought about it before, the topic is actually kind of complicated. So let's get into it. The topic at hand is MP. What's the deal with MP? Well, let me tell you all about MP. If you don't know, MP is a statistic that you have on your units that allows you to cast abilities and spells. And I'm going to give you an example of that. So we're going to go into, King Giot here. Please tell me he has something we can cast. He does. Okay, so he's got this ability here called Store. For the cost of 2 of his MP, and he has 129, it reduces his defense next turn and boosts the power of his normal attack. Okay, super exciting, right? So he spends 2 of his 129 MP to lower his defense and boost his attack. Awesome. That's all it is, right? So, and if you have magic, then you can cast magic. He does not have any, but some units do have magic. Like hers costs 20 MP, 28 MP, 5 MP, 28, on and on down the line. It just lets you use your abilities. And so it's very important for you to have MP available to you. Some equipment gives you MP just directly because it just gives you plus 100 MP, when you equip it. And some abilities and things help you restore your MP over time. And some equipment and abilities also helps you use less MP when you use your abilities. So I think that's all pretty neat to think about. But why are we talking about it? Well, it can be a little confusing sometimes. And here's what I'm getting at. So some abilities in the game are special, and they do damage based on your MP overall or how much you have left. So some uses all your remaining MP and does damage based on how much MP you have used. The cost of these abilities cannot be reduced because just coded into how they work is they use all of your MP and then you're left with 0 at the end. But then you do a massive amount of damage and usually the fight's over when you use them, so it's not a big deal. Some abilities do damage based on how much MP you have left after you cast them, and so it's important to reduce the cost of those abilities so that you do more damage with them because it's based on how much you have left. So let's talk a little bit about how that works in detail. I'm going to go over 3 different units here. The first one is this Aerith right here. I put them in the wrong order. This Aerith right here has an ability, Holy, right? It's not upgraded. It does not have the special yellow barrier around it. Notice it says it does 986 MP. Notice she has 986 MP. Okay. If we're going to go ahead and put on something that gives her MP, let's see here. MP, please. Yeah, this feathered headdress, right? It gives us 300 MP. So it gives us, now we have 1374, and lo and behold, Holy now casts 1374. Cool. Now I want to point something out. This feathered headdress has an ability that reduces the cost of abilities by 15%. So it says MP consumed reduced by 15, also restores 3% of your MP every turn. I said HP a couple of times. I'm talking about MP, not HP. All right, I'm tired. But let's look at that. So still does 1374, even though it's reducing the cost of your abilities by that amount. But notice water is 3. If we remove it, now water is still 3, but water is 10. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And now water is 9. Oh my gosh, it's cost 1 less MP. Obviously the more MP something costs, the better the reduction is. There you go. So that's how it works. It makes your spells and abilities cost less when you have these equipment on, but not the ones that drain all your MP. So because of that, it's very important for those type of abilities. You want to just boost up as much as you can. Let's talk about another one. This Aerith, this is Cetra Descendant Aerith. This is the good one. She also has Holy. And notice hers has a fancy pants yellow border around it, and it does the same thing. Consumes remaining MP to deal light damage to all enemies. So her Holy is upgraded to do all enemies. And we've talked about using Holy before to reflect it off of your team. And in that instance, you want to use this Holy, the good Holy, because you want to bounce it off of 6 players instead of 1, right? And that's a good thing, because then it hits all the enemies and hits them all a bunch of times. And Holy Reflected times 6 is way better than Holy Reflected once. Okay, very cool. Notice though it does still consume all of her MP. 1016 cost 1016. There it is. So in those instances, right, where you're going to be dealing using all your MP to deal 1 devastating attack, it's helpful to build your MP as much as possible to increase the modifier of the attack. What do I mean when I say modifier? If you click on this and hold it, right, it does damage. It says spirit-based damage, so it's based sort of off of your spirit, but also changes the bonus damage based on your consumed MP times 1000. So if I use, 1016 MP, excuse me while I math, 1016 MP times 100. So the modifier of this attack becomes a 101,600, right? 101,600 skill, basically, as opposed to something like Banishka, which has a 7,200 modifier. So obviously that's much bigger based on how much MP you have, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the more you put your MP up, because it's going to use more MP, and so then multiply the attack more. That's a good thing. So for those, you want to just build as much as possible. Now, look at here. Pay attention to the attack type. Some abilities are magic type magic, and some are physical type magic. Most of the ones we're talking about are magic. What do I mean between a physical type and attack type? We've talked about this before. If you look at Holy again, it does spirit-based magic damage, right? So it's magic damage. It's got an element attached to it. You cannot imbue magic type attacks, magic damage attacks, unless they are physical type. So there we go. This is a light element attack. You cannot imbue it with other elements. But Golbez, right? He's got Meteor. Again, it consumes all your MP to deal magic damage to your enemies. Check it out. Magic-based, physical damage. No element attached to it. It's physical, because if you think about it, it's like rocks falling from the sky. Like it does, magic attack type, magic physical type. What's cool about those is you can imbue them. So Meteor can become a fire element, ice element, lightning element, water element, whatever element you want, based attack, which makes it very easy to fit into lots of teams. It uses physical type killers because it's physical damage, even though it's magic based. So you use physical killers. You can imbue elements on it. This is awesome. Golbez, has a lot of utility as a result of that. You can make him into a dark damage dealing unit or a water damage dealing unit or whatever element you want, because you can just imbue him with elements. And that's a cool thing. Okay. So let's contrast that one more time with Medina. Her special ability, one of my favorite abilities in her whole kit, is Ice Onslaught, right? Consumes all your MP to deal damage that's ice, magic-based magic. So it's only going to be ice damage ever. It's magic-based, magic killers, whatever, but you still want to boost up your MP. And she can get a lot of MP, right? Very, very cool. Awesome. So that's my spiel there on MP abilities. If you want some examples of some things that can reduce the cost of your MP, here's how you see it. So here's Kalmia's Time Waver. It's a staff, happens to be an STMR, whatever. Has this ability called Speedy Recovery. If you click on it, MP consumed reduced by 20%. Also fills MP 12%. Very cool. Another one, Formal Suit. Prestige. 30% reduction cost of MP. This is Rivera's STMR. Almaz's Glasses. This is a 4-star unit. MP cost reduction 15%. 3 stars. Super Trustmaster for Trance Terra. 50% reduction cost in MP. Very, very big. And it also boosts your MP by 33%. So you get more MP and it reduces the cost. This is very, very useful for some units. Artistic. This is a 4-star unit STMR. 10% and 30% magic. Seed Upperclassman is time limited. We'll get this back eventually, I think, because it's from Quistis, who was an event unit. And I think we'll get this eventually, maybe one day. MP cost reduction 10%. Restoration of the Hisame. This is Itachi's Super Thrustmaster, 80% attack, 30% reduction of ninjutsu abilities. Only ninjutsu, but it still reduces the cost. So there you go. You can see that by just clicking on the abilities. And I found all these items just by going on the FFBE equip page and just searching for, reduce MP, whatever. And it pulled up a whole bunch of different stuff that you can equip on units. So there's that. Lots of equipment to look for, lots of abilities to look for, lots of ways to use these units. The last thing I want to talk about is how MP and HP restore works. So we're going to go into a fight, and I meant to show you. We've got these units. They're all set up. Some of them have MP restoring items equipped, and King Giat here also has HP and restore and LB fill, and I want to show you how it works in battle. So we're going to quick go into a fight, and we'll go into the daily guild hunt because I haven't done it yet. No companions. We don't need no companions. Okay, ooh, we got 6. So notice, we started our fight and we didn't see any green numbers popping up. So we're gonna go ahead and guard here with everybody. And what we're gonna see is when our turn ends, his limit burst gauge is gonna fill up a little bit, and we're gonna see some green numbers popping up over Giat and Golbez at the end of our turn. There. So at the end of our turn, it's still turn 1. Monster turn just went. Now it's turn 2. So we get the HP, the MP, and the LB fill at the end of your turn, not at the start of your turn. Okay. So again, we're gonna guard, right? All of our stuff's gonna fill at the end of our turn. Monsters go. Now it's turn 3. Thank you, Medina. Now it's turn 3. So just to send us off well, we're going to spend up all of our MP with all these MP consuming abilities, and it's going to be really goofy. So there you go. And Giat, because we're all about it, he's going to use his store ability. Look at that. Notice everybody's now out of MP. You saw some red numbers and some blue numbers, which means we did physical attacks and magical attacks. Pretty cool. Okay? Everybody's all out of MP, though. So thank goodness that fight's over. That's really what I got for right now. So the one all about MP hopefully was informative for you. And we'll be back next week without time travel. And we'll be able to talk about some current questions and stuff like that. If that's helpful for you, let me know. If you've got more questions about how MP and HP Restore works based on those items, or if you've got some other ideas about good MP cost reduction items to use, let us know in the comments. I'd love to get the conversation going. And if you see this on YouTube, I want you to do that too. I want to see comments on YouTube as well as Facebook. And yeah, that's all I got. So we'll be back next week with some live questions, hopefully. And some current questions as opposed to stuff that happened 2 weeks ago when I was at home rather than on vacation. So that's it. We'll see you later. Take care. Be good to each other. Bye-bye.